Yesterday, a jury in Boston federal court convicted Rwandan asylum seeker Leonard Teganya of fraud and perjury for lying on his immigration papers about his involvement in the 1994 Rwandan genocide. KPFA's Ann Garrison has been in Boston since Monday to observe the final week of the 4-week trial. She filed this report.
Leonard Teganya fled from Rwanda to Congo with millions of other Rwandan Hutus fleeing the advancing Tutsi army led by General Paul Kagame in 1994. He used a false Zimbabwean passport to enter Canada, where he reunited with his Rwandan girlfriend, married, started a family, and applied for political asylum. Canada repeatedly denied him asylum on the grounds that he had committed crimes during the 1994 Rwandan genocide, which he, in turn, denied. Fearing for his life if deported to Rwanda, he went into hiding in Canada, then illegally crossed the Canadian border into the state of Maine to apply for political asylum here. His trial became a de facto trial for genocide crime because the prosecution had to prove that he was guilty to prove that he had lied. In 1994, Mr. Teganya was a third-year medical student at the National University of Rwanda in Butare. He testified that when the understaffed hospital was overwhelmed by wounded patients, he went to work cleaning wounds and administering intravenous fluids. Former teachers and fellow students from both Rwanda and the Rwandan diaspora came to confirm his story and testify to his character, while prosecution witnesses from Rwanda accused him of rape and murder. None of the premises about what actually happened in Rwanda in 1994 during the final phase of the war that began in 1990 were questioned during the trial. As at the International Criminal Tribunal in Rwanda, the court's a priori assumptions were that a genocide against the Tutsi was committed by extremist Hutus from April to July in 1994, which did happen, but they also assumed that this was the only crime to be prosecuted. Sticking to the particulars of what happened at Butare Hospital in May 1994, the defense did not introduce the body of evidence that the Tutsi army committed genocide against Hutu people as well. Kagame's Rwanda has a long-standing alliance with Netanyahu's Israel based on their constant equation of the Nazi Holocaust and the Rwandan genocide. But these two tragedies were not at all similar. The Jews did not invade Germany or any other European nation. They did not seize territory or wage a 4-year war. They did not seize state power at the end of a war. The European Jews who perished in the Holocaust were a minority driven to concentration camps and murdered en masse by xenophobic white Christian supremacists. The Tutsi Rwandan Patriotic Front, led by General Paul Kagame, was in fact a division of the Ugandan army, and it did invade Rwanda on October 1st, 1990. It did wage a 4-year war against the Rwandan army and the civilian population, 85% of whom were Hutu. They massacred hundreds of thousands of Rwandan Hutus before seizing power in Kigali in July 1994. The United States and Canada are both signatories to the 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention, by which they promised not to impose penalties for illegal entry of refugees coming directly from a territory where their life or freedom was threatened. But the jurors in Mr. Teganya's case knew little of Rwanda as it is now and did not acknowledge that he fled for his life.
And that was KPFA's Ann Garrison reporting from Boston after observing the case of Leonard Teganya in Boston Federal Court.